Welcome everybody to the um, another episode of the World of Ability podcast that's powered and made possible by Transform You Media Network. And we are here every Saturday at 2 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock p.m. Central. And we're talking about kind of disability advocacy and topics related to the disability community. So I guess I'll pass it over to you, Kurt, as my other co-host.
All right, Emily, thank you for getting us started. Yeah, we are on the money today with starting at showtime, even a little bit early. So I did a little check-in with our co-host, Denise Vargas. She regrets that she's not able to make it with us today, but she kind of has a due, getting extra time today on a Saturday, because yesterday she really poured it on as a board member with the Happy Co-op and being a verified happy business and being a captain in the co-host community and just being one of our happiest people, that we know, period. So she's not going to be making it with today's show. We'll look forward to seeing her again next week for next week's episode. But I think the three of us are going to go forth and not be afraid to talk about her a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. I'm Kurt Roskoff. Pleased to be here a year and a half later from starting the show. Again, story told as we started this July 26, 2020. And we've been doing this every single Saturday since. I've been on scene at different Saturday activities while the World of Ability crew, helps, create a little anchor portion to the show experience, that there's some consistency here by those in our team able to log in from their PCs or a little bit more stable seated position, or laying down or whatever it may be, as we keep doing these shows every week. So we are pleased to have with us again Barbara, who has been with us since the beginning. Thank you so much, Barbara, for all of your contributions through the many shows. I mean, let's just think of it. A year and a half is over 75 shows. I don't know, Emily, if you've got a show count, if we're over 80 or how many we've got going here, but it's just really wonderful to have constant, dedicated contributors and team members, and supporting the co-hosts team here, and just kind of really packing these shows with a lot of different thoughts. It's amazing that we can come in 80 different times and have 80 different styles of our conversations. So here we are again. Barbara, you've been having a little different couple days here, and so kind of following suit to that, and you're adjusting and adapting, and you said you were doing some chanting and doing, paying attention to different things, tuning in, like, what are we going to resonate on today? So you've got some ideas, Barbara. Why don't you take it away and tell us what's filling your heart and soul, and what's in your mind today as we're back at the World of Ability podcast.
I'm seeing, beside my chant, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, I am seeing that a way to help ourselves feel good and heal and have more hope for the future has to do with caring about other people. And it's powerful medicine. And it's amazing how powerful that is. When you think about somebody maybe younger than yourself that you think maybe you can encourage or you can invite to something, and you make that effort and you watch the energy that kind of pours into your life when you do something like this. And I've had a chance to understand more intimately what Denise goes through being in a wheelchair, because I've been in a walker for a while. I had an operation on my neck, and possibly one of my lower backs that's supposed to be coming up. I want to talk about that, but going just to where I live, it's a gated community. And if you're in a wheelchair, there's no way out of the gate. And so I went and tried to tell, the powers that be that they need to know about this. And there's no sidewalks for people to walk on or to wheel on. And so many things, realizing what she goes through on a daily basis by just being in this walker. And I'm so glad we have this show and we can help encourage people. I can't wait until my son speaks sometime about being someone with a profound dyslexia and where that's put him in life, trying to overcome that as a child in different classes with children with different exceptionalities, your varying exceptionalities, and a lot of the beauty that you get to see as one child with one strength is able to help another child who has a weakness in that same area. And this is what life should be more of, school should be more of, where kids are being allowed to help each other so that you don't move ahead without bringing everybody with you, because there's power in that, there's healing in that. And that's something I definitely wanted to share today.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I agree. That's a lot of what the World of Ability podcast is all about, to get that narrative going, sharing conversations, rhetoric, dialogue. Some of our shows were monologue and whatever, to get in all shapes and forms of communication, getting that brain thinking about, kind of what we're doing in our life and the influence we have, and the expression of be the change we want to see in the world, and helping each other through that. So it's a little bit of, peer support, thinking of peer support in many ways. When we're talking about the World of Ability and the disability community, peer support might suggest that a person with a disability getting that direct engagement going with another person with a disability, and being able to share and compare, and exchange lived experiences to kind of be supportive and guide the other, and collectively too, to come out of it with outcomes that, in terms of adapting, adjusting, being aware of kind of what we're dealing with. And the interesting thing is, some of what the disability community deals with is the community of people that don't have a disability, because that's what I learned. The story that I tell is about being 50 years old and reflecting on my first 40 years of life, and thinking of the challenges that I provided for the disability community, that I was not aware I was providing these challenges. So in learning a bunch of terms like microaggression and marginalization I knew about, but just hear it utilized in such a clear and concise and concerning way about, how it's a regular thing that, groups of people marginalize other groups of people, and a lot of inequity going on out there. So
a really important book, it just got the Pulitzer Peace Award. I think I shared this last time. There's a book called Caste. And it's hard to read, because it shows us our history, and you see the part of humanity that's acted very much as animals as we're trying to become humane beings. But we got to look at it. We need to see that so that we can overcome it, so that we can help each other grow. We need to take responsibility. I wonder, when you're talking about microaggression, what it is that you're saying. Because I'm not familiar with that concept.
Yeah, microaggression are these little things that we do in life that have an adverse effect on another. So it's a subtle thing. That's why they call it a microaggression. Like we've heard the term passive aggressive.
Mhm.
But this isn't passive aggressive, but it's a microaggression, and it's a subtle thing that most of us miss. And I missed it for decades. I never even thought of it to this refined detail. But let's take, for example, the stories told, an obvious place of advocacy for people with disabilities to say, people with physical disabilities or people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, say a simple thing of you go and you're at a table to enjoy a meal, and everybody's got menus and everybody's making their choice of what they're going to eat, and everybody's ready to order. And then what happens is that then wait staff comes to take everybody's order, but they don't really take everybody's order with everybody. That all of a sudden the wait staff is looking to interact with somebody with a disability and chooses not as much to get the complete order of that person with a disability from the person with a disability, looking to other people at the table like what does this dude want, or what does she want, and not treating that person as being capable to order for themselves. So these little types of shifts that doesn't honor a person entirely and doesn't treat a person as complete. Now, that's not to say that there aren't situations where a person with a disability prefers that somebody at the table help, but that's where the disability community taught me that the terminology is self-determination. So that's the idea, is that we as a culture, we just bestow ourselves upon another person, and we just make decisions without their consideration, without the consideration of that person to say, is that ultimately what they would like at this moment? So that's what we have a chance to address in our own personal lives, that whether it's in this realm of disability or not, to just look at, all the different ways we could have biases or practice stigmas, or to create an equity within a moment, that anytime we're shifting our energy constantly to a person or certain people that we're not, acting within a group that everybody's equal, by us contributing to that imbalance, that is a microaggression, because we're shifting that access to our attention. And when we take over the conversation and we disregard someone, this is all in the realm of microaggression. So I think when we start talking about it, we're all familiar with the aspect, but we just never knew the term. And that's kind of where I come from too. I didn't realize that there was a term for it.
And you know what I'm feeling, that we're all rushing, we're all like moving so fast that if somebody's going to use the restroom, see how many times people say, I'm going to go very quickly, I'm going to go real fast and I'll be back. And I noticed that I was like, we can slow down, breathe, think, look around us. What you're saying, take the time to ask somebody, would you like me to do this for you, or would you like to do it? And just to be kind like that. We feel like we don't have time to communicate. We got to get this order out quickly, and we need to see that we're doing that, and we can help each other relax a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. To me, everything's an invitation, and invitations are there to get a response of accepting or just taking a pass on the invitation. And so that's kind of what it amounts to, is being available, but not subjecting ourselves over something and like implying from our side that need. There might be a need there, but I think it's empowering to a person that they can confirm or deny, the need. And even if it's obvious that if there's no way around it, that there's a need, I think it's just, a good thing that, things start from that person. The story I've told on this show before a few times was about rock climbing. So, so basically in Brookfield, Wisconsin, there's a rock climbing wall place with the several rock climbing walls, indoor facility. And, so we're doing adaptive rock climbing. And so there's a whole idea of, having a pulley system and tethering and, and then safely hoisting a person as they're doing their version of rock climbing up a wall, and we get trained how to do it. So it's like first step, second step, we get the regimen. So we get a concept. Okay, this is how we help somebody get up the wall. And so I guess where we got to is we as volunteers were just going through those motions, and we were just kind of, guiding people through our process. But that's where it was very powerful when one day one of our participants with a disability spoke up to us in a review, because we were developing this program together. So we had a little debriefing session, and the one gentleman spoke up, and he's like, it's phenomenal to come here and have all the help and the volunteers needed, and that, this group and club is here that I can do this safely. But he made the point subtly that he just wanted to express to not get a little overboard in how the roles work between the volunteers and the participant. Because the idea, what he was expressing, is that when it gets to a point where he's getting from an able-bodied person, how he as a person with a disability needs to do his rock climbing experience, it's kind of a check-in, like, okay, wait a minute. I've had this physical disability for how long? And, I've gone to my faith spaces, I've gone into nonprofit, other nonprofit engagements, and, I've become educated. I work, I this, that, I travel, I do so many things in consideration of my disability. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, when I come here to do rock climbing, it's like all of a sudden I never figured any of that stuff out in my life. And I got to have you all tell me how I'm going to go up that wall. I think I've got a pretty good idea, along with all of you, how this works. And I think I can, just ask you if you're willing to help me in these particular ways. And I know you're there ready to help me in these ways, because we're all developing this program together. So kind of in a subtle way saying, please let me lead the way. Don't try to be the leader on what my experience is going to be.
Yeah, the whole idea of rock climbing is, using your body, using your power. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So all of this came, connecting for me through back in 2014 and 2015. There was an adaptive sports and rec expo that was inspired out of the Veteran Affairs Hospital, the VA hospital in Milwaukee, the spinal cord injury unit. And so the head of the spinal cord injury unit happened to also be an associate professor at the Medical College of Wisconsin. So he was able to get to the decision makers about having the Medical College of Wisconsin be instrumental in making this adaptive sports and rec expo happen. And so they did this project for a couple of years, and it accumulated over 60 partners in sports and recreation, and 50 of the 60 had actual experiences on the grounds and in the school building. This was at a high school in the Milwaukee area. And it was just a phenomenal experience to have all of these groups who had the same objective to include people with disabilities in their thing, their fashion of sport, or their, format of recreation. And there was a lot of cross training, because like me coming from water skiing, I learned from the rock climbing program. I learned from the horseback riding program. I learned from the tennis program, to see the other 60 groups ready to do their thing. It gave me ideas of how to show up better and how to better organize with the Wisconsin Water Ski Federation around adaptive water skiing. Very phenomenal development, occurrence, and evolution of what we're all doing in this discipline of adaptive sports and rec. And so collaboration and skills sharing and cross training and cross pollinating, however you all want to speak to this, that melding of all these things together was so powerful, and it gives me great optimism in terms of where we can go today. So, and you muted yourself again, Barbara.
Some construction outside. I didn't want it to interfere with what you were saying. To feel safe, to be able to communicate honestly. Like I'll see that as a woman. A lot of times men will, like, as if, they'll be telling you something that you've already been doing. I've seen that too. And you want to be able to speak up for yourself, but you don't want to be further alienated. You don't want to create any ripples in what's good that's already happening, but to create safe spaces where people can communicate as honestly as they can about what they're feeling and how to create more unity, how to communicate. I feel like we're just learning when I work with children, and I'd say, like, I had a couple kids up the front of the room, and I'd say, okay, what's different between, these kids? And someone's going to say, oh, well, he's white and she's black, and I'd say, you think so? Let's find white around here, around by the teacher's desk. And then I'd find something, big white, a whiteboard, and I'd say, okay, come on, put your hands against that. Wow, no one's anywhere near that color. And I'd say, let's find something black. Nobody's anywhere near that color either. So do you think we're just learning how to communicate, how to talk to each other? We don't have all the words yet. And that can be exciting, that if we see ourselves as, we're advancing, we're just learning. And, we're coming from being a lot of animalistic behavior. You see that in the book Cats, how to try to help people advance, how to keep people alive on this planet, but where it's definitely not so fair to everybody. And the difference between a kind of military, this is what we need to do to advance, to make things happen, and the difference between community working together, where everybody's going to have a chance to be the janitor at 1 week, or be the prison in Israel. We had outhouses, and everybody's going to get to work with that. I think the only thing everybody couldn't work with was the children, because that, you had to really prove yourself that you were really, sensitive and wise and caring about children. But any other job, we were playing like musical jobs. And I thought that was so wonderful that we could do that. And we have the technology now, as far as the garbage men go, where I live, they come by in these trucks, and the truck has this big claw that comes out the top of the truck and grabs the garbage and brings it up without spilling any of it and pours it into the truck and comes back down. And, anybody can do that. You don't have to be all big and strong, and yeah, we should set ourselves up to be more community, I think, and take turns. And I have a friend who's like, why does everybody have to have their own like washing machine and dryer? They break and they're so expensive, and we could share more and to try to create communities like that where you have people caring. Like a friend of mine who just, I hate to talk about people dying, right? I mean, that's hard for me, but she died of obesity. And part of the problem was, she was so alone, and she was scared to ask like the professionals, to come in and help because she had her daughter, and they communicated so well. There was so much love there, and she was sure that they would come and they take her child and put her in foster care, and trying to figure out, how to pull the family together, and how for her to get help with the problems that she was having. And I just think, if we just had more community around us that cared, that wouldn't be, prejudiced against a problem that somebody's having, and could respect the communication, the love between this mom and this daughter, how precious that is. We can make the world a much, much more fun, much better, much more playful place.
Absolutely. That's what we're working on for sure. Great comments and intentions. We totally agree. So yeah, we're all about community organizing, community development, and kind of evolving the community experience. I want to do a little check-in with Emily. Emily, how are things going? I know, Emily, you're playing around with StreamYard and so forth. What's going on over there on the podcast engineering side of the show?
Still trying to figure out the whole StreamYard sharing and whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, that's still sort of what I was doing. I got the our ability, I'll say, now on YouTube on it. It's just a matter of sharing screens between Zoom and StreamYard. So, just kind of figuring that out.
So you got it all figured out? I saw a
I
notification.
haven't totally got it. I don't think I've totally got it all figured out yet, but I was working on it.
So what do you have going out over World of Ability podcast YouTube right now? I got a notification that you got it started. Is there anything going on for YouTube right now?
Yes, it's going over YouTube. Because I started YouTube first, but not sure about Restream, or I can't talk today about StreamYard and YouTube, but I know it was going off of, it's on YouTube either way.
Yeah, which means that you're doing it through screen share, right? Oh, apparently you're not, because when I go to the show on YouTube, it is just you.
Yeah, that's why I was getting, I was still trying to figure it out. That's why.
Okay. Well, should we just have you do the rest of the show and then we can figure out the rest for the next one?
No, I don't think so.
Well, what does it take to get you screen sharing? It's just, there's a screen share feature. It should take you like 3 minutes, right? It shouldn't be too much to figure out, right?
Well,
Right now, apparently you're just going through StreamYard as our podcaster and you don't have the screen shared. So you just have to get the screen share going, and then I will see the show here. I'll see the Zoom session because you're screen sharing, right? And then once you're screen sharing, that's that, because you're not going to do any other work on your computer because the show is screen sharing your Zoom screen, right?
I think, hold on. I think I might know how to.
So talk us through. What are you doing?
You guys can keep talking.
No, talk us through. What are you doing? Because now I see that the screen went black on our show.
Yeah, I took myself off of there.
Because you're just gonna come up. You're gonna be able to get your video completely off of there and just have it do the screen share, and that's it.
I'm seeing what I can do through my phone I'm sharing.
Phone. You're going off of the phone.
What?
So how are you going to go off of the phone and screen share?
No, I might not be able
Be
to
on
do
your
it.
desktop right now. You should be able to be in the
Okay, that, I
StreamYard.
said, okay, I think I need to ask,
You see the screen share feature or no in StreamYard?
yes.
Yeah, clicks share screen and then just have it share this Zoom session. You're on Zoom.
That's what I was, uh, uh,
You had on your Zoom, you were just showing yourself then, not gallery view.
yeah, well, I, did click, Zoom, but, uh, sharing Zoom. Um,
Yes, you had it working fine. You just need to change Zoom to gallery view or something, right?
that's what I have it on right now, dude.
Yeah, but right now the live stream is going. Here, I'll show you. There. Let me bring up what your podcast is right now. You got a black screen going on right now.
Right. I know.
All right, so we'll pick this up later after the Brian Gibson segment of the show.
So I'm gonna quit StreamYard and start over.
Okay, welcome, Brian.
Hello.
Well, how's the Saturday going for you out at Project iHeart?
Well, I'm getting ready to go take a shower, shave, and go to a couple meetings and then to a church to brief the mission.
All right. Well, we are live on Facebook and Emily's recording. We're halfway into the World of Ability podcast show. We've had a lot of thoughts going by Barbara here, who is sharing about community and working together and coalescing resources and so forth. So what is your experience in Illinois with the forward operating base rush and the response you've been getting since you started Project iHeart? Do you have anything to share in terms of how the communities in Kentucky and Illinois have responded and responses from other places in the country and so forth?
Well, it's a hit and a miss. Most people are out for themselves. That's an issue, for the years I've been stating teamwork makes the dream work. No one organization can do it all. So we want people that want to help veterans to come join the team, come to the properties. But this whole past week, it's all been discussions. Well, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Well, to me, that's just the wrong attitude.
I agree. So Barbara, are you familiar with Project iHeart by chance or no?
Oh, I was excited to know how when it was 2022, how that worked for the veterans. And yeah, I am familiar. And I think this is the very thing we were talking about, is if people realize the health benefits you get from helping other people, the mental health, spiritual health, physical health benefits that come with helping other people, that I think a lot of people could witness to, could document, the world would be a better place for sure. And I think that's starting to happen. So how did it go on the 22nd?
Yeah. So Brian, Barbara is down in Florida, so closer to our friend JR down there. But Barbara, Hopestock is coming up July 29th, 30th, 31st, coming to us out of Illinois. Brian got some response for having equipment and help to get us going on live streaming. So we're hoping, Barbara, that you can make notes for that last weekend in July and be ready to tune in and experience Hopestock with us. What do you think of that?
sounds good. Like I made
Well-
Woodstock. I should make Hopestock.
Well, then again, JR is coming up from Florida. He's gonna talk about how the Veterans Ranch is gonna bring equine therapy to the property. Again, if your organization is part of the team, I want you to come. I want people to know that teamwork makes the dream work.
Mhm.
Exactly. So Barbara, you think you might know some people who might consider traveling to Illinois on the last weekend in July like that and get the experience right from Forward Operating Base Rush in Illinois? You think you know anybody?
Yeah, keep reminding me, and I definitely do. This one woman, her husband died this year, but he was all about like veterans and anything he could do. So I know she was saying she wants to, continue his legacy like that. And then I know a lot of people that are into fun. I wonder if horses are going to be traveling, or it's just people for this. They're going to be bringing horses up too.
That I do not know at this time, but I know they're coming. We are in talks every week to figure out the logistics of it. Again, Hopestock is at Forward Operating Base Rush, and the main reason we're holding that event there is we want people to come and see the facility, see where it's at, and see what it can be. We're going to be giving tours of the building, of the grounds. We're going to be explaining, with your help, we can make this a spot of hope for veterans.
Going.
I would love to be part of it.
Very good. Well, thank you, Barbara. So Emily, you're helping out with this whole aspect of teamwork makes the dream work. So Emily, what's your involvement with this, your interests in Hopestock and Project Die Hard and having this all available?
It's all connected with getting started with helping veterans with Anna Maria and with Onward and Upward and Prosperity Pathways. So it's kind of just sort of an extension of that. And I've been kind of promoting or putting out some of the flyers Brian has had to encourage everybody to join us. And I wanted to tell you, Brian, I may be going on a Military Monday show for sure on my birthday, which is in a couple weeks. But it sounds like I might be doing more than just my birthday. Doing a short PSA about Hopestock. So I
Again,
just wanted to tell you.
thank you and God bless. Your help, Kurt's help, Tim's help. All I can say is thank you and God bless. Okay. Because I will never spend $10.2 million on an ad campaign. The only way we're going to grow is by people telling other people about us. For Hopestock particular, become a sponsor. Take some time. We have multiple levels of sponsorship available. We did with Jay and the Happy Neighborhood Project. We're going to be streaming the Friday night Message of Hope out to everybody because we believe in giving hope to the veterans. But you know what? All that cost things to do. This is why we need sponsors. Our brother Zach Clayton of Community Pay It Forward in the PAC channel is offering 30-second and 1 minute commercials when you become a gold or platinum level sponsor. There's just so much that people are giving to make this a great value. So if you have a company or a product you want to get out to a mass media at a very good price and help a good, solid, faith-based mission, reach out to Kurt, reach out to Emily, reach out to me. We can all talk about it. And again, I don't know what else. I mean, we're in the planning stages. This is going to be a great event. As I said, yes, we now have the equipment to live stream. So far we got the PAC channel. We got the Battle Buddy podcast. It's going to be streamed on too, and the Happy Neighborhood Project. So yeah, that's going to be a great time. But again, I invite everybody to come to the property, come to Makanda, Illinois. Come and see the serenity of the pond. Sit by the bonfire, talk to veterans. Enjoy good food, good fellowship, good music. Again, the reason we're holding it there is I want people to come and see the building, put their hands on FOBRUSH, and see that when you give your $22 a month to Project Die Hard, it doesn't go into my pocket. It goes to the mission.
Yeah, that's great stuff. That's what's needed. Obviously, we're all responding to the trend of the last decade, going from a statistic of 22 vets a day losing their life to suicide to some are accepting the statistic of over 37 a day losing their life to suicide presently. So just looking at that is wow, over 150% from where we were 10 years ago, just totally going on a trajectory the wrong way. So absolutely Project Die Hard coming in here, helping to fill the gap that exists in being there in the exact way that all our veterans need. Because if that was all happening the way it needed to be, we wouldn't have this veteran suicide issue the way we have today. So we do have our teammate, Tim Tarosian. Tim, you want to come on in here and give your insight, announce your interest in Hope Stock and the work of Project Die Hard, and anything through your familiarity with Brian here. What do you have, Tim?
Sure. I guess what I'm thinking is, you're doing what you're doing, Brian, and there's other things that I could help you with, and I'll let you know from, and any number of streams of income you can get, you got to start with a seed, but I'll let you know from time to time, like how about doing this or that. And I don't want to open it up, but just let you know my orientation is that, hey, we could be, maybe 50 grand this way, but you got to get a start on it. So it's not something that'll just be automatic, but if you do this, that'll lead to that and so forth. It's pretty vague, but what are we working on? So in any way you want to share how this is getting done, right? Bring us in. We'll bring me in, and I'll let you know. Ask some questions and open up what you're doing, and then we're good problem solvers. All of us are. Kurt, Emily, me. So anyway, That's kind of it right now.
All right, sounds good, Tim. Thank you very much. So yeah, these things take shape as things move along, and every bit that's added on towards the success of the event is big deal, and it adds clarity, and all the updates help. We're not too far away from in April, we want to have a lot of our sponsorships secured and ready to go, so that with what we need to do to take care of our sponsors and get everything in place as needed, we're hoping in just the weeks ahead that we have a lot of sponsors coming in. And so any leads that people have in terms of potential prospects, they kind of say as we go in these things, some call them suspects, that don't worry about qualifying it right away on whether it's a good candidate or not. If we're thinking it's a maybe, it's worth making an outreach, and all you can do is ask, and the worst they can do is say no, and maybe go on to the next one. So really anybody who has any leads into who might be open to a discussion about financially supporting this event, Hope Stock for in July, and to be somewhere in the sponsorship levels and benefiting potentially from pack channel commercials or exposure on the grounds during the event, and kind of going along in the months ahead with us on the advertising, one of the sponsor, or I think it might be a couple of the sponsorship levels, or maybe it's one that has the sponsor on the t-shirt. Is it just the highest level, Brian, that has the t-shirt listed?
Unfortunately, there's only so much room on a t-shirt, so yep, that's reserved for the highest level.
Yeah.
But the commercials, yeah, they'll be aired on the PAC channel, and they'll be aired on the Battle Buddy podcast. And we're in talk with other veteran podcasters to air the event, to air the commercials. It's always a communication. But again, reach out to people that, think they might want to become a sponsor. I know Kurt hosts meetings every week. He's the diehard representative on what the mission is, what Hope Stock is. He's kind of him and Emily are the glue that kind of holds this together. We have a bunch of people working on it, but again, they're all reaching out for sponsors. So everybody reach out, sponsors. Come see the event. Come meet Chris Turner, Marine Corps veteran turned country music star. Come meet Chris Tice, a first responder and great patriot that's going to deliver a message of hope Friday night. Jason Dunn. If you know of a vendor that would like to come and sell knickknacks or things of that nature, have them contact us. I just got to put it out there. No drugs, no alcohol allowed on our properties at any time. That's just in our core, and we're not going to deviate from it. So if you have little trinkets, especially hope related, we're working with a company out of Texas right now. He makes little clothes out of uniforms, old uniforms. We're talking to see if he can afford to come out. Again, this is why we need sponsors, so we can help these young fledgling veteran entrepreneurs set up a booth, but we're talking about doing, excuse me, a uniform drive, because he takes recycled uniforms, makes little dolls and things to give to service members' kids. You see, there's a win-win there. We get to help promote this veteran company that's doing great things, and yet we get help with people coming and donating uniforms. But again, he's a young veteran. Well, I wouldn't say young, but he's a veteran on a limited budget like I am. And coming from where he's at to Illinois is an expense. So this is why we need sponsors. So we can help veteran businesses that want to set up a booth. This is why we need sponsors.
That's right. That's right. So Brian shared with us during the show a little bit of an overview of Hope Stock. Again, July 29th through the 31st. So Chris Tice and Chris Turner return. All proceeds benefit Forward Operating Base Rush, Project Die Hard, intent to give veterans a weekend of fun, food, music, and much more to bring public awareness to veteran suicide, to bring public knowledge of Forward Operating Base Rush, to raise funds to get FOB Rush operational. So let's see here. Forward, this is a glimpse on Forward Operating Base Rush. It'll house 12 single veterans and 2 veterans with their families. So Friday, we have the performances, including music ministry you're showing there. Saturday is a car show. Got Jessica and Chris. So there's just a lot going on here. Sunday, we have that Sunrise Fellowship, Sunday morning worship, remembrance ceremony. So come and meet. Let's see here. Let's get another glimpse here. So sponsorship levels range from $100 to $2,000. Obviously, if folks can do more than a couple thousand to support, there's needs of like tens of thousands, right, Brian?
Yes, that's just to cover the event. But yeah, phase 1 of the remodel for FOB Rush is $800,000. You can bring that screen back up. I can talk over a screen.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to do that. Sure.
Oh yeah, I want that.
So,
Okay.
So yeah, we have the contact here of contact@projectdiehard.org. So if there's any possibilities, any of you out there feel that there's potential in your thoughts, let's get an email off to contact@projectdiehard.org and we'll start to review your thoughts and what we need to do to act on it. So here we go. The budget is limited. Project Die Hard is a 501c3 organizations. The tax aspect of donating to a 501c3 then is there for you. And so Project Die Hard is put together some opportunity here in national brand exposure, and it's always good showing that you're supporting veterans. So there has been a pretty good response to the audio and visual equipment. But we do definitely need organizations up with the kids zone, security, stage operations, overall event operations. So like we say, anybody that potentially might travel out there could be a big deal of what they're offering to make this happen. So again, we're doing all this to get FOB Rush up and running and give hope to American heroes. Again, that email address, contact@projectdiehard.org. So anything else to add to this or go back to, Brian, or is that pretty well give a good overview?
Well, that's the current overview. Yeah, I didn't update that slide deck because now we do have somebody. Actually, Chris Tice has helped with that. He's reached out to his contacts and they're bringing down the nice high def cameras and all that. But again, we still need help with people that know how to run a stage. If you're willing to come for the weekend, come on down. For our volunteers, you're going to get food chits, so your food's free. We do have some space available for tents if you want to tent out. Or if you got one of them small little trailers, I don't need no fifth wheel. I can't fit those, but we can boondock you. You know, there's always ways you can come help. Last year we did a volunteer week for the whole week up, but that just got too combobulated. But again, Project Die Hard 22 on Facebook. We have a volunteer page there. Join that volunteer page, and weather's starting to break. That's where we put volunteer opportunities, whether it's an event, whether it's, hey, we need 10 people with chainsaws because we got to cut a trail through the woods, or we need somebody's special ability. That's where we put it out. And again, all I can say is thank you and God bless for the help.
All right, good stuff. I just as you were talking, thinking about the Happy Neighborhood Project again, and there's H&P Nomads is a group of professionals from around the world that don't have any stationary place, like they don't have a home structure, and that's their place. So the nomad thing where they just kind of travel around, that'd be kind of cool to have as many H&P nomads and other nomads from this whole nomads community, just have them kind of migrate, to Five Rush. It'd be interesting if we could get any reaction to that. So they have
for the weekend to come to Hopestock.
Yeah, whether it's however it works. Yeah, if it would be for the weekend or
I hate to say, brother, I've had to turn away veterans because we're not up to code. I can't have a bunch of nomads camping out on the property.
No. What I'm saying is if they're nomads, they're pretty self-sufficient to just set up where they're going to be staying wherever. So they could be staying like 5 miles away.
Oh, okay. We have to be clear and precise when we put this information out, because I've had to turn away veterans because this is why we're doing this event. This is why that $22 a month is so important. The building has been vacant for 8 years. It used to be a daycare. There's major structural things that have to happen to this building. We are not set up with the facilities or the infrastructure on this property yet to take in people, to take in veterans. We're not. It breaks my heart. But if people want to come down and help, I'll say, come on. But we can't do any long-term living on this property.
Yeah, it's just a visit for the day is what the event is ready for. Yeah. Very good. Well, gotcha. Well, we are at the end of our podcasting time here. Emily, did you have anything to add as we are taking our way out of the show? What do you have, Emily?
Thank you to Barbara, Brian, and Tim for joining us today. Could be the biggest thing at the moment.
There we go. So as we wrap up here, let me just say that I can set the context for our devotion here at the World of Ability podcast for Hopestock, because a lot of the contemporary social services initiatives are around the realm of mental health. When I served on the Wisconsin Council on Physical Disabilities, our chair served with the Governor's Committee for People with Disabilities, and on the Governor's Committee in Wisconsin, and I think this is true in most states, probably Kentucky and Illinois and so on and so forth, that the mental health community is represented on governors committees for people with disabilities, because there's a huge intersection there. When you look at health and human services, even if we look over on the veteran affairs side and so forth, there's always coordination in this realm of mental health. It seems like, the challenges that people have, veteran or non-veteran, that it seems like we have to really, as citizens, really look at beefing up our cultural approach, and government's always working to improve what's available for folks that have mental health needs. But this zero suicide initiative and responding and getting people set up with QPR training, question, persuade, refer. There's all sorts of stuff out there that's been developed, because it's not a new topic. It's been around forever, but just always kind of taking that next step and evolving the social work and the social mission, social enterprise, and all this nonprofit work in this realm. We all have to work together. We talked earlier in the show about community response, and it all starts from individuals. So everybody out there, please don't count yourself out in terms of the importance that you are and what you could be in your little offer, being a part of the conversation, considering it, even if you plug in to start your learning process, because that's where I started. I just got involved, and I just got my eyes open to all the stuff that everybody was talking about that I wasn't real up on. And then I got up on it, and I thought, wow, this is stuff that I'm surprised I didn't know. And now that I know it, I want to share it. And that's what evolved into that I'm here in this show today. So thank you, everybody, for being in the show. And we always appreciate reactions to the videos, comments underneath. Go ahead and put your 2 cents worth, show those interactions, and help others do the same by giving it a share. So another shout out to Zach Clayton out in Colorado with the PAC channel. We always enjoy working with him. And again, to Jay Stoyan, founder of the Disability Channel, showcasing abilities. And again, this is our anchor show for the World of Ability Podcast Network that we are doing with all of these media partners, including Transform You Media Network, that powers us and makes it possible to do the World of Ability podcast, again, that we started July 26, 2020. So again, I'm Kurt Roskoff for the World of Ability, and we are looking forward to seeing you at the next show that we do here on the network. We'll be with Tim Tarosian again for Blue Collar Crypto tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, 4:00 Central production. Quick show, 20 some minutes of Tim and cryptocurrency. Don't miss that. And we got another dozen shows wrapped up in there throughout the week. And we'll see you again next Saturday with our live streaming of World of Ability. Bye for now, and take care.